Welcome to Developing Me, We, and You, where real people, real projects, and real change come together. And today our guest is Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown II is an up-and-coming developer with a heart for housing justice and community impact. Through his work with RDOOR Housing Corporation and his own firm, Brown Property Development, Kevin is advancing projects that prioritize affordability, equity, and integrity. After closing his first LIHTC project and developing 2 single-family homes under his own brand, Kevin continues to navigate the balancing act of people, budgets, and progress. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Welcome, Mr. Brown.
And you just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly the 3 things I'm balancing.
Yeah. Always, right?
Man, it's tough, but I love it, man. It's, it's the name of the game, and, I get to do what I love every single day, and this is what I asked for, so.
Listen, it's been exciting to see you take off. Like I said, I almost didn't want to say up and coming. I'm like, up and coming, this man is going.
It's up and coming for sure.
Okay, if you say so.
Nah, for sure.
Share with the viewers your journey in development. Like, what led you to step into housing development?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it partially. I mean, Jesus. I feel like my days back at Intend, Indiana, as a Trent Garrett Fellow, and, shout out to Stephen Meyer and Stephanie Quick, at Intend. They and Don Lindsay, who's no longer there, but she was really an important part of kind of getting me into the real estate development ecosystem. Man, they really just trusted and believed me when I sat in front of them in the interview and said, I'll be your first Trent Garrett Fellow, and I'm going to set the foundation pretty much for what it should look like for everybody coming after me. And I just meant that because, 2-3 years before that, I'd really been putting in the time, work, reading books, watching YouTube, going out on site visits with realtors, talking with brokers, and just getting coffee with folks. So it's been a long journey just to go from the fellowship to, being able to connect with Martindale Brightwood because we were assisting you guys with some single family home ownership projects. And then it was like the Jumpstart program happened. And literally, I tell people all the time, and this is no slight to Intend, but I think just because they were still trying to get the sea legs of kind of what the program, the fellowship would look like. Mm-hmm. Jumpstart really is what literally started me.
Jumpstart got you off the porch?
No. I promise you. I mean, I met Sib, I met Key, I met everybody there. Dwight, I met everybody. Jasmine, I met everybody there. Joanna, who I just called 3 days ago asking about a market study.
Wow.
It's just been crazy. Just
all the people.
All the people.
All the people that you need to know to make a project come to life.
Yep. And who've also just helped me kind of fill in the knowledge gaps, to be able to get me up to speed, to be able to pretty much be in the position I'm in now. I think people think I've been able to digest a ton of information, which I have over this short period of time, but it's really just been the amount of people that I can lean on, in areas where I'm still a little deficient, that have really been able to, kind of prop me up to make me look good, right? Because I'm going in having conversations and negotiating, contracts and, sourcing deals, but it's all things that I learned in those coffee meetings with Sid, or a call with Keith Brodnick's S&R, or, talking with Dwight, and just asking him about his construction means and methods and, prices and budgets. Mm-hmm. Man, it's a people business.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty, I wouldn't say easy, nothing's easy, but it's been pretty, I think, streamlined because of, I think, the authenticity I approach it and just the amount of genuinely good people there are in the business.
Wow. People, what'd you say? Balancing people.
You said it.
You said that's what you're doing.
That's it. I promise you, that's it. That's my life. People, budgets, and what was the last one?
In progress.
Oh yeah, in progress.
So those are all really valuable skills, right? It's not something that just comes easy to everyone. And even like I know you gave a lot of props to like your network, your community, the people who are surrounded around you, but it takes a real like a solid person, like you said, an authentic person to be able to take all that in and a skillful person, a willful person to
Yeah.
be able to move on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I already had kind of that drive and determination to, learn as much as possible because one thing about being an athlete, I had the ability to kind of like vision things and see it before it happens. Like I'm sure my guy here envisioned himself as an Emmy nominator, Emmy award winning producer before he actually became one. So like that's a part of it is like I saw myself in other people, like living in Atlanta, luckily, saw other people of color that were pretty affluent in development that were former athletes and said, hey, I want to do that. I can do that. I have the wherewithal. I think I have the drive, the mental capacity to be able to do that. So, I pretty much just started trying to figure out how I can do it. And when I would meet people and just tell them about how passionate I am about trying to break into the industry, I think they just really felt the energy and just were like, whatever I can do to help you, let me know. And I'm like, I tell people this all the time because people love saying that. And I'm like, well, with me,
Right.
I am
You
the
will follow
person.
up?
I will message you once a week.
That's good.
And I will make sure I get that information from you
That's
because I need
good.
it.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 years in a couple weeks. I've been in the industry since I took the fellowship. So, I mean, from a fellow to VP of development, I don't think that's, kind of any slight. It's just kind of,
Exactly.
I'm really just where I'm supposed to be, where I envision myself, and I'm still not there. I'm just like, this is another step, in that direction. So I got a long way to go. That's why I said up and coming is still accurate.
Wow, wow, wow. I feel like there's so many different ways that we can go. So, one question I have is about your first LIHTC project. Was that the Vacant and Vibrant or?
No, that was the deal. So when I first got hired from in 10 at BWI with Gary Hives. So again, I got more people. I mean, there's so many people to shout out, and they'll never end. You even got the Janine Betsy's out there. I mean, there's so many people. Jesus Christ. But when I started working at Gary Hives, I got 2 deals that pretty much just got awarded in 2022 round, and one was a infamous project that you guys know, Canal Village, and the other was 44 unit new construction project that was the 3rd phase of a multi-phase housing development in Anderson. And so the old Wigwam High School campus, I guess the city put out an RFP like back in, would have been 2015 or 2016 for, this huge site of the former Anderson High School with the infamous Wigwam basketball court. If anybody's like big on like basketball history, I think it's one of the oldest basketball arenas in like the entire United States.
Oh, wow.
I think it might be the 3rd oldest. So they got awarded that. It came with a lot of the excess land that the school didn't occupy, like the old track and field portion of the site, old parking lot, and then you just had some excess green space. So this was the 3rd phase. The 1st phase, I believe, was might have been a supportive housing project. The 2nd phase was a senior housing project, and then the 3rd was this mixed income affordable housing project, but it was all for families. And I think there was a portion carved out for families or households who were at risk of homelessness, but it wasn't necessarily a supportive housing project because that was something that I know the city of Anderson was wanting to see in the RFP. So that was a big deal. Obviously just getting to cut my teeth on like closing and just kind of experience what that's like. I mean, they literally just got the deal awarded when I started. So it was like, hey, welcome to development. Close these 2 deals.
Wow.
And, they're like, we're here to help you, but, we got to go find more deals. So, just trying to manage, design because, as people, I don't know, people may know, people may not know, but, LIHTC deals, you pretty much have a conceptual design that you submit in your initial application. It's very, very bare bone minimum as far as design goes. So afterwards, I had to really babysit the architect and the GC, working through design from like conceptuals to schematics to applying for permits, getting those approved, pulling together all the pilots, the HAP contracts or the AHAP contracts, since we don't actually get the HAP contract until you actually build it, and then it gets leased up and stabilized. So just drinking out the fire hose, and I still am today, but it was just the best learning experience was to just kind of like dive in head first. And, I spent a lot of time Googling stuff and calling Sib and Janine and, texting Keith and, just kind of getting direction from folks outside of BWI. And then I also had a good support staff in-house with Gary and Vince and George and, the team there. They really kind of helped fill in a lot of the gaps too for me. So I would lean on them when I needed support. But that was really a eye-opening experience for me. When I actually got it closed, it was a big deal. They got me a little bubbly, and we took a little drink in the office, and and then we was off to the races trying to find a new deal.
Yeah.
Pass it off to construction, and we were working on another application for 2023. So that's how development goes. It's cyclical, and you close one, it's a short celebration,
right,
and move on.
Man. So Brown Property Development, founded in
2022.
2022.
October 22nd.
Okay.
4 days after my birthday.
Oh.
On purpose. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's when it actually got incorporated. But it's just, I kind of already knew where I wanted to be. So, I figured why not wait? I know a lot of developers usually, and I can't say that because I actually don't think I've ever asked one if they've created an entity prior to them leaving and starting their own or doing their own thing. But, I kind of knew what I wanted to do after leaving Inten, stepping into the multifamily space. I was like, well, I know I was only at Inten for a couple months, but I want to see how much I learned, see if I can do this on my own. And then the vacant environment piece came out, and, I connected with...
Which is huge.
It was, yeah.
That was what... I don't know. I don't remember the dollar amounts that came from the city, but that was specifically for certain neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We had someone on here to talk about.
Multi-million, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it might have been $5 million.
That was your first project?
Yeah.
Under Brown Development? Wow.
So incorporated in 2022, but we didn't actually get awarded that until 2023. So that was, I think, May of 2023. And we didn't even close until February of 2024. So yeah, it was an interesting process.
Yeah.
And another great learning experience, hands-on.
Yeah.
We've got one sold, the other under contract.
Okay.
So, we'll be hopefully having another, single-family affordable homeowner here in a brand-new home in Martindale-Brightwood here probably in the next 30 days.
Are both the homes in Martindale-Brightwood?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, I always had to, that was the whole point of Jumpstart. So that's kind of what I told Jasmine and Amina. Really, Amina, Jasmine's been awesome, but I think I really tried to pitch it to Amina, I want to partner with you guys on this, because initially I was looking at Send and you guys, but, ultimately I don't think the Send thing worked out because of the lot that we were looking at. We didn't think it was going to be feasible. But these lots were in, perfect, quaint little pocket in Martindale-Brightwood. I was like, I actually like this location, and we may be able to buy some more lots and try to do another phase, if something goes well.
So what exactly is your role as Brown Property Development in the process? Are you the owner? Are you tell me what?
Yeah, I'm pretty much like you. I'm a consultant. I'm a development consultant. So I entered into a development agreement where we pretty much laid out kind of the roles and responsibilities of me versus Martindale-Brightwood initially. And, I pretty much wanted to lead everything from, kind of the feasibility application, kind of the financial closing with bringing in the construction financing we need to build them. And I think really a lot of it on the Martindale-Brightwood side was just being able to support me, knowing that, a bank's not pretty much going to look at me as a budding developer, having done an actual project.
This episode is brought to you by Edna Martin CBDO LLC, powered by Edna Martin Christian Center's Homes program, helping families in Martindale-Brightwood secure housing, build wealth, and grow strong communities. From home ownership training and down payment assistance to maintenance education and estate planning, Homes is your one-stop hub for sustainable living and generational success. Ready to own your future? Contact Immanuel Ivey at iivey@ednamartincc.org and take the first step toward your new beginning. Edna Martin CBDO LLC. Building homes, creating opportunities, and changing lives.
They're not going to look at me and see me as a bankable entity, whereas if I'm partnered with Martindale-Brightwood, who's not only done single-family housing development, but they have the balance sheet to be able to make the bank feel a little bit comfortable making this loan to a guy like me. I think that was just something I knew was going to be important, and that's kind of how I look to structure deals. I think in the short term or in the near term too, in a similar fashion. It's really just being able to provide value, because I know Martindale-Brightwood obviously wants to support emerging developers, especially of color, jumpstart, graduates. So, I found this as a pretty advantageous kind of partnership for us to kind of both use this as an opportunity, one, for me to learn and do my own thing, and for them also to support someone that was in their, I was in their initial cohort. The first one.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a perfect storm. So I'm just grateful
for
it.
I remember.
Yeah, first one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were talking about it, and I was like, this sounds like something I need to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, well, make sure you apply. I remember, this was, Joanna went to UC. I went to UC. It was just little small things that just kind of helped me kind of get over the hump. So.
Wow. So you've talked about networking, you've talked about kind of people that are around you. What would you say community impact looks like in action for you?
I think for me, it's really just, like I said, continuing to refine my skills so I can just be an asset. I think we talk about, I'm on the board of Indianapolis Neighborhood Resource Center, and we talk
INRC.
about, INRC, and we talk about community assets all the time. And I think, I view myself as a community asset, and it's not necessarily just because of, I think a fancy title or a salary or experience. It's more just kind of the value I can provide. And maybe that does tie into the experience, but I want to be able to provide that value to communities that, see projects that they may have an interest in and don't necessarily know what to do. I'm able to kind of step in and say, I don't even want a dime. I can take a week or 2 weeks of my time to kind of put together some sort of conceptual development in different ways that you can kind of fund it, because there's so many ways you can kind of package a deal, and then just be able to present it and kind of coach them up as to how you can kind of make this your project. So it's a community-led, community-owned project. And, that's something I really, really take to heart is, just being able to help people. And I think just all the information I've been able to gain and learn over time from all these different people and doing my own research, it just so I can help other people that come up to me and say, oh, I got this 2 acres over here on, Martin Luther King, what do I do? And then I can say, here's my number, let's grab coffee, let's hop on a call. And then we just kind of walk through it. And I look through my kind of checks and balances of what I'm looking for in deals that I've learned from other people who've been doing it for years and years and years. And then now that just puts them in a perfect position now to be able to understand how I look at deals, which is information I've learned from other people who have learned how to put deals together. So now hopefully they can take that information and now bring it back to their community, or even, lead it themselves or partner with someone else, or, it's just empowering people through I think it's more so education, but just understanding something that we weren't necessarily privy to or taught. We're kind of opening a door of opportunity that they didn't even know existed, and it's just a blessing to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So what would you say as far as advice that you would give someone who wants to get into the field? What would you suggest they do?
What would I suggest they do? I would suggest that they educate themselves, and I think education really just starts with understanding the industry, understand the history of just kind of American history and, kind of how we got to this point now where we have this such a kind of lopsided disproportion of kind of like wealth amongst different ethnicities. And I think understanding the game is just like anything, and I always relate it back to sports. I really wanted to understand how the game works, so I at least, even though I may not have the technical expertise and experience of like doing multiple deals every year and understanding how to navigate different hurdles and obstacles, it's just being able to understand like how development works, how real estate works, how to speak the language, and being able to put yourself in the rooms with people who have the knowledge, who have the experience, so then you can come across as somebody worth them investing into. So I think if you've done the homework and you are, sitting before others or actively pursuing opportunities to get in front of people, to get more experience or opportunities, if you're not prepared for that opportunity when it presents itself, you're pretty much never gonna really, be able to take advantage of any opportunity. It's just gonna kind of pass you over or pass you by, and then somebody like me will scoop it up, or another person that's been preparing and doing their homework. So I would just say, just gotta be a self-starter and a learner and really have a drive to learn.
So what was a moment of personal growth that shaped your development journey?
Coming out of high school, I was kind of my natural, I think, personality was just like really reserved and quiet. And I had a head coach that was just, I don't think he liked me being a football player and being reserved and quiet, especially a defensive player. I talked on the field, but I think there was just a certain expectation he had of like his safeties, and that's the position I played when I came in. And he was on my head daily, like, you need to talk, you soft, I don't recruit Indianapolis kids because of you, like, just really kind of beat me up a little bit mentally. And I think over time, like, I really just got to a point where, I got fed up and, pretty much broke out of my shell. Like, I think that was his whole intention. And we talked about it, afterwards. Like, he just wanted me to understand, like, the leadership potential I had. And obviously he said, you can't lead. And I told him, like, I like leading by example. And he was like, yeah, but not everybody can just lead by example. Certain people have a gift of being able to lead vocally and with their actions. And he said, I see you as somebody that can lead us, and lead our group in the right direction. And as an 18-year-old kid, that kind of instilled some confidence in me that, I used and layered year after year. When I would be faced with other obstacles, I still remember kind of, you have that ability internally to really lead and be able to put yourself in the position you want to be. And so, I really feel like there were a lot of growth moments, like, as a young 18-year-old kid, kind of getting coached up by my position coach, head coaches, university teachers, academic advisors that kind of just helped me become the man I am today. And there's so many other moments too, with my dad and other coaches and career opportunities and successes and failures. But I would say that one really sticks out to me just because, when you're in a people business, like, you can't be, I guess, an introvert. You kind of have to be a bit out of your comfort zone and, be able to talk to people and hold conversations and be a vocal leader. And dude, I walk in rooms now and that I know I'm not supposed to be in, and, I'll shake hands with anybody. I'll shake hands with the president and tell him, I'm a developer from Indianapolis and trying to develop, nothing phases me. I understand the magnitude of the conversation, but, I think that confidence was instilled in me back in 2012 when, I finally decided, like, I'm not going to let this guy keep telling me what I'm not. Like, I'm going to show him what I am because I know who I am, and it just kind of clicked for me. And ever since then, I just kind of had this innate sense of confidence that I can pretty much do anything I put my mind to.
When you think about your future and the future of Brown development, property development, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I would hope my legacy is just impact and positive influence. And I guess I would want to put positive ahead of impact as well. I want positive impact, positive influence. I want to be able to shake up the industry for the good, not necessarily cause people to go bankrupt or even myself, but, really want to be able to create change. And I think that was one of the reasons why I was drawn to development, because I saw developers as people that were able to create from nothing. I mean, either they're rehabbing an existing property that may be vacant and have no use, or they're taking raw land and, creating a new use out of it. So, I saw that as an opportunity to be creative, be innovative, but also be able to put roofs over people's heads. So I know, like, in so many different ways, you can impact communities, cities, the country, just people. And like I said at the beginning, people are at the kind of heart of the business. And, I really do care about the people I work with. I care about the people that I serve, which are our residents. And, ultimately I care about the work that I do and making sure it's high quality, and the people I work with have that same type of level of care and I think drive to just deliver the highest and best product they can, regardless of what it takes. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure it's something that everybody could be proud of, right? And making sure I'm constantly hold myself to that high standard, daily.
This was good.
This was good.
Thank you, Kevin, for
appreciate
stopping
you.
by. This
Of
was
course.
good. It's been a while.
It's been too long.
Yeah, but I'm glad we were able to catch up.
Same.
How do people get in touch with you? How do they get in
How
touch?
do they get in touch with me?
Look in the camera to tell the people.
I'm out. I'm everywhere. So if you
You
don't
be
see
outside?
me, there's something wrong. Because I'll be at Jumpstart this year again. I'm on the committee. So sign up for Jumpstart next year, because this year's applications are closed. But you can reach me Instagram at Kevin Brown _ II lowercase. You can email me at kbrown@rdoor.org. Those are usually the best ways to contact me.
Love it. All right, Kevin. Until next time.
Until next time. Appreciate
right.
you.
Thank you. Remember, build something bigger than yourself. When we build together, we grow together.